From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Now that the person killed, the young man hacked to death with machetes by a group of 5 in Shimoga in Karnataka is a Hindu. And because he called himself Harsha Hindu on his social media page, the lobby has gone into complete and absolute silence once again. Why, I ask? Is Harsha's killing okay? Normal? Justifiable? Is this what he should have faced? Yes, the investigation is on, and yes, there is no direct link to the hijab issue on record yet. But are we not aware of the consequences of a very, very communally charged situation? And in the middle of which situation, a person who calls himself Harsha Hindu and who is leading the counter protests on the hijab issue is killed in the brutal manner that he has been. Are we not aware? Are we not aware of the possibility that a brutality like this can become a flashpoint? Are we not aware? Are we aware? Are we unaware? Or have we as a country put blinkers on? I think we've put blinkers on. I think we don't want to see the truth. The truth that in the name of activism, there is a constant attempt to provoke and needle one religion constantly, to make them feel that their identity is under threat in India, and then sit back and watch the fun. Watch the fun as riots break out. Watch the fun as tempers become unstoppable. Watch the fun as in the case of the post-Shaheen Bagh riots in Delhi. Dozens of people are killed. People are slashed. Weapons come out. And when all that happens, these pseudos who needle and provoke like the cowards that they are, disappear and hide. They are cowards. Think about it, viewers. Where were those giving these provocative speeches in Shaheen Bagh when parts of Delhi started burning, when people were killed? Where were they? Where are the Twitter activists on the hijab issue? The celebs, out-of-work film stars, non-entities, provoking people, and then watching the fun, the number of retweets they get? Where are those people? Where are those people tonight when the streets are empty and 144 is imposed and stone throwing takes place in Shimoga? Where are they tonight? Where are they tonight, ladies and gentlemen? And yet we allow this. Yet we don't crack down. Yet we don't ban. And when I ask these questions, I'm told you're a right-winger. No, viewers, I'm telling you the truth. What do we do instead? We wait for elections to end and then decide what action to take. Why? Whether to ban groups or not, groups which have done nothing in India, nothing but needle the Muslim community in India constantly. Incite hatred in the minds of one Indian against another constantly. And viewers, I'm not saying this in a vacuum. I'm saying this because Republic is on the ground in Shimoga. And I feel it is my duty to tell you that for far too long, we have let the communal cauldron burn. These people on Twitter, tweeting and retweeting, having fun, these irresponsible people, they don't know the reality on the ground. But we do. And I'm telling you today, viewers, not as guidance, not as a warning, but as the truth, that politicians like to let communalism simmer. That is what I cannot accept. This deliberate politics, this deliberate indecision, it is deliberate because politicians benefit. We did not need either CAA or Shaheen Bagh or the hijab issue to simmer. Allowing it to simmer costs lives. It risks lives. Listen to what Harsha's sister says. She says the video of her brother's last moments bleeding was put on WhatsApp groups, and still we won't do anything. Still, will we let the situation simmer? What will we do, ladies and gentlemen? Will we act or will we let it simmer? The nation wants to know. Republic wants to know. And I know that you too, we all want to know. That's debate number 1 tonight. We cannot let it simmer. Because when we do, we try and create a riot-like situation. Debate number 2 tonight. It's gone on for far too long. It is now Republic versus PFI. Does the centre have the conviction to ban the PFI? The whole country is asking the centre because the centre must act. And at 10:30 p.m. tonight, there is a so-called journalist from some media organization who's peddling influence, threatening cricketers. All of Indian cricketers are standing up against this unnamed person. Big controversy in cricket, and here are the headlines this Monday evening on the debate channel.
ಹಿಂದೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಿಂದುತ್ವಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ
ಇವತ್ತು
ಪ್ರಾಣನೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಸರ್ ಅವನು.
There's national anger over the brutal murder of 25-year-old Bajrang Dal activist Harsha in Shimoga in Karnataka.
उनका एनकाउंटर होना चाहिए सर.
Family tells Republic the video of Harsha's brutal murder was sent to them on WhatsApp. Stone pelting, arson and vandalism are seen across Shimoga over Harsha's brutal killing. Union Minister seeks NIA probe into the killing. State confirms the PFI role is being seriously looked into.
PFI should be banned immediately.
From Karnataka to Assam to Madhya Pradesh, the demand to ban the PFI nationally is growing tonight across the country. And huge controversy as cricketer Riddhiman Saha claims a threat and blackmail. Over an interview, the BCCI is investigating the source of the blackmail and the name of the media organization. "14 days before he was murdered, 25-year-old Harsha posted pictures of the saffron shawl protest. Why was Harsha killed in this manner in a communally charged Shimoga? The developments in the last 24 hours have shocked all of us. Tonight, listen to this family, and then let's question all of them who have let this happen. Let us debate."
This is Harsha. He called himself Harsha Hindu on social media. A tailor by profession, a Bajrang Dal activist. He posted on February 7th on the Saffron Shawls protest. This was his post. Look carefully. His post read, "A saffron wave over Shivamoga's Sahayadri College." On the same day, Harsha also posted on social media, If you don't live for the nation, then it's a life not lived at all. It is hell.
ಹಿಂದೂ 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 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಿಂದುತ್ವಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ
ಇವತ್ತು
ಪ್ರಾಣನೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಸರ್ ಅವನು. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಅಂಥ ಮಗ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಸರ್ ಅವನು. ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಸರ್ ಅವನು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಅಂಥ ಮಗ. ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೂ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ ಈ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್? ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು.
Look at these visuals. The last moments before Harsha was hacked to death by radical killers. They shot this video as he was dying, his body still moving. This video was used by his killers and shared on social media and even sent to his family.
ಕತ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡಿತಿರೋದು ಸಮೇತ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾರಂತೆ ಸರ್. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಾರೋ ಏನಿಲ್ವೋ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮನಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋರಿಗೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎನ್ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಿಡಿಲೇಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
There's a wave of anger in Shivamogga, Karnataka today.
And on the houses of other community people here in Shivamogga, you can see here people are heading and they are attacking the other streets. They are pelting stones. The situation is gone out of control here in Shivamogga district. They are taking the mortal remains of the people on the streets, on the roads of Shivamogga, and you can see over here the people are involved in violence, pelting stones, pelting stones and attacking the houses of the people on the streets. They are even warning media not to cover this. They are even warning media that not to cover this. You can see here, stone pelting is happening.
Arson, stone pelting, vandalism. Shivamogga, which saw hijab protests last week, is on the edge tonight. So tense that stone pelting was reported even as the last strikes were being conducted. Watch this video. A union minister wants NIA investigation into a possible PFI role.
In the last 1 week or 2 weeks, what is happening in Karnataka, where all the country is seeing, and this is a very well planned out by the foreign. I think there is hands in the foreign forces also to destabilize the country and divide the country based on the religious lines.
But tonight the question is to those who raise temperatures, knowing well it would come down to this. The bloodthirsty politicians and groups who wanted a communal divide must answer. Let's debate.
Very, very sensitive situation. From the BJP, Sardar R.P. Singh is representing tonight also the Bangalore North MLA of the BJP, Dr. Bharat Shetty. Harsha Bhatt, senior journalist of Swarajya from Bangalore. Rashmi Samant, she's an activist and former president of the Oxford University Students' Union. And Waris Pathan, former MLA of the All India MIM and their national spokesperson. From Ayodhya, Syed Aslam from Bangalore, Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar from Mumbai, and Amrit Shenoy is a Congress leader from Udupi. Dr. Bharat Shetty, I'd like to begin with you. You have been saying that there were threats that were received by Harsha, who called himself Harsha Hindu on his social media page. What information do you have of these threats? Who were the threats from, and why was he being issued threats? Why was Harsha issued threats?
In 2015, there was on a page called as Mangalore Muslims, there was a threat for him, saying that he has badmouthed the Prophet and extra few other things. So he was given a threat that time that he'll be chased like a dog and extra few other things. Then later, there was no news about that. Nothing, everything cooled down. After the hijab issue started, he was continually posting on his account. And he was very vocal about it also in that area. He is from Shivamogga. It's a neighboring district. So he has been getting threats from this page. And after his death, after his murder, the same page was celebrating his death also.
Which page?
Bangalore Muslims. A Facebook page called as Bangalore Muslims.
And you're saying the page is still active?
Yeah, now the cops have put a sumoto case on that. I'm not very sure whether it is on right now, but morning it was.
So you're saying that this is linked to the ongoing hijab protest, counter-protest?
Yes, yes.
And you're saying that he was attacked because of his position on the hijab issue?
Yes, yes. I think it's because of that. Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Very
Yeah, I think it's because of that. Because in Mangalore also, when the CA issue was there, they tried to, get a situation out of hand, and they want a civil war kind of a situation in the country. They tried that time. Then there was a firing, Golibar and all, everything was controlled. Same situation, they tried to replay, they tried to reconstruct in the DJL KJL fight which happened in Bangalore.
Yes.
When a Congress, Dalit MLAs, all those attacked. Same thing. Yeah.
Now, I want a response here, from Amrit Shenoy, who's Congress leader from Udupi. Mr. Amrit Shenoy, I began the program today by saying, let us accept the reality. Harsha was very actively opposing the hijab protests. And there is this evidence which is now emerging that he was threatened also in the past. What is your take on this?
If he has threat calls since 2 years, as our MLA told just now, it was the responsibility of the government to protect him. So it is the utter failure of a government to protect their own karyakarta. So I think
so you are saying because of that reason he deserved to be killed?
No, it is his assumption. Let them prove it. We are also not in a support of any kind of murder. Whoever it may be.
Is it any sort of murder? Can you explain what you mean by any sort of murder? I think you are taking it very lightly.
Yes. No, murder is a condemnable. Whatever may be, law should be not taken into the
I don't think it is. Firstly, I don't think it is any sort of murder. I want to bring in Harsha Bhatt on this, viewers. This whole definition. This whole definition. This attempt to put things under the carpet. 1 minute. This attempt to trivialize. This attempt to trivialize. Let me tell you, this is not any sort of murder. And you wouldn't be saying this today if there had been any violence against an activist who was fighting for the hijab. But if there is an activist, a Hindu activist, who is part of a counter-protest is killed in this manner, you come on television and you call it any sort of murder. What is any sort of murder? A picture. What is any sort of murder, I asked today. 1 minute. This is the language which I cannot tolerate anymore. And this country will not tolerate this language. I want Harsha to come in, and I want the country to have the courage to face the reality of what has happened and what is happening in Shivamogga in Karnataka. And if we brush it under the carpet, calling it any sort of murder, then things are not going to get better. Harsha, you heard this attempt by the Congress leader. Yes.
Yes, Arnab, I heard both Dr. Bharat Shetty and Mr. Amrit Shenoy. And I think that is where politics is succeeding and Karnataka is failing. Because see, for the last 8 or 10 weeks since the hijab protest has taken over, this what has happened today is unfortunate but not unpredicted. It is horrifying but not shocking because Harsha is the nth one on the list of those that have died because a segment of religious bigots thought that they can take law and order for a ride. And why, giving that my name is Harsha from morning, every news channel is saying Harsha has died, Harsha murdered. I personally feel somewhere every citizen of Karnataka has died today because the state and its citizens have no hope to believe that justice for Harsha won't remain a hashtag. What do I mourn more? When you hear all these leaders make statements like this, I'm not talking about the panelists alone. What do I mourn more? The killing of this young 26-year-old. Like one segment is saying, some Facebook page has the audacity to, and like it's not just the 2015 thing that they're talking about. I think today also they said, look, we stand by what we said, and this threat still holds for everybody who will talk against the prophet, and we shall take action. That we have a system that even after like 6 years of their original post has let them function. That here is a system that, what do I condemn more? Like there was Paresh Mehta, there was Deepak Rao, there was Rudresh, there was Sharat Mariwala. So what do you want us to do? Like just wait for the list to go on. Like the growing intolerance that has the sanction of religion or the religious assertiveness in the name of right to practice that has held my state and its education to ransom for quite some time now. Who do I hold more responsible? That state that has given no punishment whatsoever, so that it sets a precedent that you will not attempt, you will not dismantle my democracy.
Louder.
For the love of God, pun intended. This dismantling of democracy needs to halt, Arnab, and I think this is at least time.
We are not accepting the facts here today. Today the murder was of a man who took a stand against hijabs in schools. Simple. And he was a saffron shawl wearing. He was a Jai Shri Ram chanting, proud Hindu. Okay? Now,
absolutely.
Now my question is simple. He was a saffron shawl wearing. He was a Jai Shri Ram chanting, proud Hindu who called himself, and on his social media page, Harsha Hindu. And the point is there a crime for which he should have been killed in a manner and his last moments captured and put on WhatsApp groups? This is not a normal murder. This is the desecration of humanity. The saddest part of this, that when this happens, an entire group goes into complete silence. What if someone else, who was not a saffron shawl wearing, not a Jai Shri Ram chanting, not a proud Hindu, would have been the victim? Then they would have said genocide. They would have said, I'm telling you, they would have said genocide. There is genocide in India. And today these people said absolutely nothing. They would have said apartheid in India, genocide in India. And now they'll say, let's investigate. People like Atikur Rahman, by now otherwise Harsha, would have started off on the debate. They would have said there's a pogrom in this country. There was a genocide. They won't say anything tonight. Yes.
There are your own colleagues, Arnab. I mean, who better than you to know that someone who speaks truth to power or someone who is vocal about what he believes is the truth has a price to pay. And but this was not for a 26-year-old. He wanted to live for India. He didn't want to die for India. And you have killed his aspirations. You have set a benchmark. And there are people taking pride out there on social media. What are our cops doing? There are union leaders or not.
It's pure messaging, Harsha. Let me tell you, this is messaging. The fact that his last moment was sent to his family on WhatsApp is a message being sent. If you're going to be an activist, this is the end you will have. And I don't know why today Atikur and Syed Aslam and Waris Pathan are searching for words tonight.
Arnab, absolutely not. Arnab, first of all,
if you allow me, I am on a Zoom line sitting in Rupauli on a petrol pump. Kindly allow me to.
Yes, go on. 1 minute. Waris Pathan wants to say something. He's on a bad bandwidth line. Go on, Waris. Make your point.
Well, Arnab, first and foremost, I condemn the murder of Harsha. My condolences with the family of Harsha, and whosoever is involved in the murder of Harsha, the police must investigate and he should be punished. If there may be disagreement between two people, but it is not that you kill. But similarly, whosoever is involved in such kind of killing, whether in the name of JSR, whether Ikhlaq, Pilu Khan, Afzal, they were killed in such a manner, the investigation should be done and the person who involved must be punished. But my question here is, Arnab, why these things are happening in our country? Why so much hatred is spread? Because of the BJP and the RSS, Arnab. In the name of Dharam, they go there and they give a call for genocide of Muslims, and Modi allows it to happen. It happens in Chhattisgarh, it happens in Raipur, where Congress-rule governments are also there. So they both are same two sides of the same coin. Does the Congress endorse the Dharam Sansad which took place?
I'll tell you why.
Call for genocide was given.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. What is? But do you have the courage to listen?
You have the courage to listen. I have the courage to listen.
Yeah. Okay. Then you listen. Okay. It happens because people like you go and provoke and provoke and provoke and provoke over a period of time. It happens because people like you and others, you're not the only one, go and make speeches because people like you constantly tell the Muslim community that, you know what, you're losing your identity. You're losing your identity. It's because people like you benefit from polarization, and people get polarized, then they take the law into their own hands. Don't you know that polarization leads to violence? What is? Don't you know?
Rule of law to prevail in our country.
I say, don't you know?
Prevail in our country.
Do you know or not know that polarization leads to violence? I want to know whether you know.
Who is the expert in polarizing? Modi. We are against violence. We have.
I'll let Rashmi come into the debate, viewers. I'll let RP Singh come into the debate. You're watching. This is the problem.
Violence is no solution.
This is the problem. You want to look over your shoulder? Rashmi is on the debate. Rashmi Samant, yes. Rashmi is on the debate. Rashmi. I'd like Rashmi to...
I went to school. I went to a PU college in Udupi. I was born and raised there. I think I have some perspective here to add.
By the police in each and every case, wherever violence has taken place,
I'll let Rashmi come in. Rashmi and Atiko. Let Rashmi come in. Thank you.
This post was made in 2015, and I'm a 23-year-old as well, so I think I can totally get this whole situation. I went to school, I went to college in Udupi as well, where this whole controversy started. And this post was made in 2015 on that page, Muslims Mangalore, and it's been happening for a really long period of time. I think people need to stop this whataboutery and this virtue signaling, because in 2015, Siddaramaiah was the chief minister. So people need to stop playing politics here, because a Hindu boy is dead. And this is not the first time. Lavanya first, and then we've had Rakesh Pandya, and we've had countless others, and nobody is raising their voice. It's just convenient victim card playing. Right now on Twitter, if you check, what is trending? Save Shimoga Muslim is trending. And who's dead? A Hindu boy is dead. And these people can't stop playing the victim card, even if a Hindu boy is dead by the end of the day. I have filed a petition and intervention in the hijab case in the Karnataka High Court. The judge who's listening to the case is on that Muslim Mangalore page. He's being targeted. There's a fatwa against him on that page. Tomorrow it could be me as well. And this is what the situation has come to because of extremist leaders in society who are being given a free hand day in and day out. And young people are dying because of this. These are young people whose futures are over. I mean, he was a young boy with his entire life ahead of him. And all people can think of is, that it was their fault or this fault. The entire society has failed Hindus. And, this boy and his parents and his values, he's been in Hindu activism since the past 8 years, and he's been facing threats through and through and through. And this was just the last straw. His participation in the hijab row was just the last straw.
I want to add one thing to that, Rashmi. Rashmi, I want to add one thing to that. Waris, 1 minute. Waris, I'm saying something to you. That was Rashmi Samant. Okay? She's 23 and she's taking people like you on. And I want to take you on as well a little bit tonight. I want to stop your Hindu-Muslim politics for a minute and listen to me. Listen to me. Unlike you, I don't spread hate. Unlike you, I don't polarize. Unlike you, I don't speak things which are unconstitutional. And you listen to me now. I want to ask you, Waris Pathan, listen to me. Listen to me. What is the date today, Waris? You tell me.
February.
What is the date in February? What is the date?
date is 21st February. Why are you...
What is tomorrow? No, 1 second. Listen to me, you'll understand. What is tomorrow's date, Waris Pathan? What is the date tomorrow?
22nd February.
22nd February. Very good. Now, where were you on the 22nd?
Yeah,
1 minute, Waris. You know, please don't do this. Where were you on the 22nd of February, 2020? And what were you doing on the 22nd of February, 2020, exactly 2 years back, Waris Pathan?
I was in... Allow me. Kindly check the date 24th also, Arnab Goswami, where I gave the clarification also when you all started shouting that I said 15 verses. It was a mistake which I said 1500 verses 100. And now you take it 15 versus 100. It was your thinking.
Now I
was very much in Gulbarga.
And I was protesting against the CA
Waris
and RC in a peaceful manner.
I want to tell you, Rashmi, 1 minute, just a minute, just a minute, my friend, just a minute, please, a minute, Waris. The mood in the country. 1 minute, Waris. Waris, I'll tell you one thing. Waris, I'll tell you one thing. Now you be quiet. Viewers, on the 22nd of February 2020, the man on your screen, Waris Pathan, was in Kalburgi. And in Kalburgi, he was in Karnataka. And Rashmi, you will remember, maybe you were in Oxford at that time or in college. On that day in Karnataka, he started saying 100 crore Hindu, 15 crore Muslim. It was an anti-CAA rally. He tried to provoke violence of Muslims against Hindus. And exactly 2 years later, he comes and says, I don't know. I don't know why Harsha was killed.
Did I use the word of my two brothers and sisters? Did I say that? Kindly go back and rewind. Kindly go back, Mr. Goswami.
I mean, what better do you expect from these people?
Audio link.
Into the prey of Arnab. Don't lie. He's lying. He's trying to radicalize you. Don't fall. You are an Indian.
I am trying to bring the country together against the attempts of radicals like you. And I'm glad that while I have done it alone, against the will and conspiracies of my colleagues in the media for over a decade, I'm glad that young, educated, progressive Indians like Rashmi are speaking up now.
But you are trying to radicalize her.
You are the one radicalizing, we are the ones opposing the radicalization. Be clear about it.
She is an Indian first. Let her follow the constitution.
You don't need to remind Rashmi she's an Indian first. She knows it better than you.
Secularism and uniformity. It preaches uniformity. We are all the same as per the... you're just trying to make an ultra-religious country by demanding personal laws day in and day out. The college in Karnataka had uniform for 35 years. We all wore a uniform and you started this entire controversy. You started this controversy. For 35 years we've all wore a uniform and been secular. You're trying to make this an ultra-religious country. You follow the constitution before pointing it out to me.
Don't fall into that prey,
You don't have to guide her.
You are a do you know what is Article 14, 15? They did it. Don't follow Arnab blindly.
She's following herself, not me.
I don't need to follow anybody. I have a mind of my own. Sorry. You might have that opinion of women, but I have a mind of my own. Okay?
Country to now. I am making
just because
I have a mind of my own. I'm not blindly following Arnab. You might think that women follow others, but I don't.
I'm glad.
That patriarchal thought out of the window here now.
Waris, the fact is tonight, viewers, I'll add one thing to Waris, on this debate, you know why you are on a losing wicket. Because your politics has been seen through, and also by me, and I want to add something right now. Rashmi, this has been a brilliant intervention by you. I must compliment you, but I want to add one more point here. 1 minute, just wait. Viewers, I'm asking the people of India to rise up against this politics. Just rise up, viewers. Enough, I say. You are being played with. Be quiet. I'll speak my mind tonight. You will not stop me, Waris. I am saying something now. And every Indian must speak their mind. Viewers, you are being played with. And it does, for me, the fact is that Harsha, the way he was killed, the way he was brutally stabbed and murdered in Shivamoga, if it is not a wake-up call for you, I don't know what will be. Shivamoga has been communally charged and polarized over the last 1 month because of the hijab row. And while the killing is still being investigated, the fact is that anything can spark a riot in this communally sensitive climate. So, will those who are polarizing rein it in? No, they won't. Will they let matters go out of hand? They will. They are probably hoping that it will. They are hoping. Don't shake your head, Atik. They are hoping, they are praying it will. They are praying it will. And the bottom line is this, remember, one gun in Shaheen Bagh, I want to tell the people of the country, one gun. Atik is on the debate with RP now. One gun in Shaheen Bagh led to riots that killed 53 people. And then when it happened, where were the people when the violence happened? The fear-mongering over CA, RP, led to the violence in Uttar Pradesh. 18 people died, 270 police personnel were injured in Uttar Pradesh. Provocation. Post the assassination of Indira Gandhi led to the massacre of 3006. Provocation against the police and the system led to the desecration of the tricolour and the violence against police on Republic Day 2021. We still want to believe we don't know what's going on. Rashmi is right. We know what's going on. We know, we the people of India know what's going on. But you, the politicians, RP, are not doing enough. And I blame you as well. I blame the BJP as well. You're letting it simmer. Why? Why letting it simmer? Neutralize it.
Consolidating Hindutva elements.
Come on now.
By all these.
Mr. Atik Rahman, for God's sake, once say Vande Mataram and it's all over. You never do that because you don't think this is your country. That's the problem. People like you don't think this is your country. People like Mukharram Khan don't think this is their country. People who provoked the Congress leader in Karnataka who said we'll cut the people into pieces who speak against hijab. People like Rubina Khano, she, the Samajwadi leader, she said she will cut the people's hand into pieces because they don't think it's their country. There is a complete lobby who is bent upon to paint this country, who's prepared to go to any extent to paint this country into a wrong way.
Shame on you people.
You're trying to paint this country. What shame? Shame on you
Hindu
people like you.
and Muslims will unite and you will
go
behind bars.
Will you utter a word?
You will not go. You will not go without.
Arnab, I will tell you, the political vultures like RP Singh who utilize every opportunity to communalize the issue.
No, it's
every opportunity to communalize the issue. Let me tell you, Arnab, first of all, we have a deepest condolences. We have a deepest condolences to the family of Harsha. It might be a really sorrowful
This shouting is not helping.
It might be a really sorrowful
I'll tell you.
Pinpoint that.
I'd like to, RP for a minute, let me go back to Harsha for a minute and just ask one question. And just one moment, I'll go to the bigger issue. Harsha, for me, the issue is...
Arnab, before you go...
No, I will go where I want, and before you go or after you go, you won't determine. I'll ask my question because you are not going to ask it. So thank you.
Heartfelt condolences, our deepest heartfelt condolences to the family.
I don't need your templated replies.
Right? Nobody in India.
I don't need your templated replies. Bharat Shetty and Syed Aslam. Yeah.
Condemn such horrific murder.
Yeah.
Everybody in India will certainly condemn such horrific murder. There are young students,
young Muslim girls saying that we don't want education, we want religion. This is what you guys have been feeding them. Instead of nationalism, you have been feeding communalism all this while. This is the result of years together of appeasement politics. We have young students, age of 14, 15 year Muslim girls saying that we don't want education. We prefer our religion more than education. This is what you guys have been feeding these kids. We are, as a society, we are letting people feed this to the kids.
Environment of Karnataka. Do not try to polarize. Do not use such incidents to polarize the Karnataka peaceful state.
What are you talking about? How are these incidents happening? How are these incidents happening? Let's talk about the incidents. How are these incidents happening? Because you guys have a pact with STPI. 2018 you had, Panchayat election you were with them. Don't talk about opportunities. How these opportunities are coming in.
The people are tired with dividing. Your divisive tactics will not work. People are
Syed Aslam, thank you. Syed, 1 minute. Syed, 1 minute. No, I don't want to make this into an issue of regional politics. My question is tonight, who will take responsibility? Who will? Okay, let's bring this down. Just calm down. Atik will debate with Rashmi now, and my question here is, who will take responsibility? You've been seeing very, very active, vocal members of the Campus Front of India, Popular Front of India. Syed, please be quiet. Lutyens lobby. They've been igniting this spark. They've been keeping the situation on a boil. They've been saying that the saffron shawl wearing students are Hindu terrorists. Right? So, will those who called those wearing saffron shawls Hindu terrorists, will they take responsibility for the killing of Harsha? Will political leaders who said that we will chop off people's hands over the hijab issue take responsibility? Will the PFI take responsibility? Will the Campus Front of India, who said till on Republic 3-4 days back, they said, Rashmi, we are leading this from the front. Now they are nowhere to be seen. When push comes to shove, they don't take responsibility at all. Will the Congress take responsibility if the fake news they spread leads to violence? No, they are nowhere to be seen now. Now is the moment they hide. They are all hiding now. None of them wants to be seen for a minute. Not even the All India MIM.
The PFI was in the forefront, and this has been simmering for years now. This is not something that's a sporadic event that just happened right now, just like that. The Congress has been hand in glove with the PFI for the longest time, and I strongly feel that there needs to be an investigation into their involvement with this whole situation as well. The entire hijab row only started when the Campus Front started to interact with these students, started to radicalize them and give them messages of this sort. I mean, otherwise, where would 13, 14-year-old girls get this grand idea of starting a protest in the middle of nowhere? These children have been out of school for 2 years due to COVID, and suddenly they're back on campus with a manufactured campaign. That would be the last thing any student would want to do. They would want their life back to normal. They would want to be back with their friends, and this is the time that they pick up to have this massive showdown that has never happened in any college so as to speak of before for so many years, despite there being rules. I still remember going to college and being told that you have to have 4 pleats in your shawl, and we all did it without fail, and that fostered a sense of unity and oneness within our community. This is creating divide. Whatever they say that hijab is our right, it is just creating a divide. And let me tell you, my intervention seeks to prove that the moment, if the High Court says that the hijab has to be allowed, then other Muslim girls who do not want to wear hijab will be forced to do so. Because a Muslim girl in Kashmir was given death threats for not wearing a hijab just because of this controversy. More women than less are going to suffer. And that to Muslim women because of this controversy when it comes to an end.
Rashmi, it's a big if. Let the High Court decide. Constitutional will be the only solution towards this. No saffronization.
And was the killing of Harsha constitutional? Was the killing of Harsha constitutional? Was the provocation by the PFI constitutional? Were the shows of strength constitutional? Was the mocking of a killing constitutional? Don't preach the constitution, Atik.
No.
The aim is simple, and I want to bring in Harsha Bhatt into this. The aim is to needle 15 to 20% of India's population. The country is living peacefully, and repeated attempts are made by people like Atik to tear the secular fabric of the country apart by intentionally needling the Muslim community. You want to needle them, you want to create a sense of insecurity, you want to cause paranoia, and eventually you want to cause violence.
Arnab, of all the places in Karnataka, somebody creates an issue like this in Udupi. Udupi and Manipal and even Mangalore. Mangalore has seen very minimal communal so-called activity during this episode, but it is the hub of education. It is the city, and that the region has given the country so many banks. It has been this trade center, Arnab. We were called the mini Mumbai. Because we are an organic cosmopolitan setup on the coast. But unfortunately, these divisive forces have to create an issue. Whatever they want to call themselves, whoever these parties are, like, with what guts was the Campus Front of India actually saying my way or the highway, that the judgment that would be in my favor? How can someone say that? How is our constitution, instead of being an enabler, being used by our leaders as almost something that's, keeping them from ensuring justice? I am tired as a lay citizen of Karnataka, as somebody who comes from the coast, which has given the country the world's best leaders. It's given George Fernandez, it's given the best, the educationists. Today has turned into a bunch of youngsters saying, I prefer my religion over education. I prefer my religion over sense. I prefer my religion over, enabling myself. It is clear that these forces which are fueling the hijab protest want my state to burn with it the secular fabric of the coast, because see, it is a land of temples, but we are a land of temples which have not burnt each other, or which have stopped mosques from coming up, which have stopped churches from coming up. This was the pioneer in every industry possible, and in the last decade or two, we have burnt every single possibility that could have come out. If we shed this communal guard.
So Arnab, I just want to tell my sister, if she has listened to the Honorable Home Minister of Karnataka, the Honorable Home Minister of Karnataka has categorically said that this horrific incident has nothing to do with the hijab row. Right?
No, he has said the investigation is on. Bharat, no. Bharat, I want Bharat Shetty to come in. You want to end the investigation before it begins. Syed Aslam and Bharat are responding right now.
The investigation is on.
Absolutely no.
The investigation is on, and there's a bigger conspiracy behind this. No, 1 minute. There's a bigger conspiracy behind this. You listen to me for a second. See, after the hijab issue,
you need to control Ishwarappa, who has no connection between the tongue and the mind. You need to talk about why is he singling out one particular community when the matter is being investigated. The Honorable Home Minister has said that this has nothing to do with the hijab issue.
See, the investigation is on. Investigation is on. See, there's a bigger conspiracy behind this. This is not as simple as what you say it is.
Sir, if you don't have respect to your
Bharat Shetty, please. 1 second. Syed Aslam. Syed, let Bharat come in, please.
First day of the hijab issue, the issue came on Al Jazeera and Pakistan TV. It didn't come on Republic or some other TV of Indian. It came on international TV first time. 25,000 Twitter messages were trending on the day the hijab issue became. The first day of the hijab issue. There's a bigger conspiracy behind this. And you guys are supporting that.
Of course, there's a bigger conspiracy, but if people don't want to see it, if people, I want to bring back. Just 1 minute. No. I'd like to bring back Rashmi on this. And the question is, if you don't want to see it, I think there's an attempt to needle the Muslim community in India to provoke them. And I'll give you an example. Didn't the fear-mongering among Muslims amid fake news, wasn't there fake news of mosques being burnt in Tripura? Did it not lead No, 1 minute. Did it not lead to Muslim organizations' protests that mosques are being burnt in Tripura? What happened in Amravati, Malegaon, Washim, Yavatmal? Where incidents of stone pelting were reported? You still want to deny it. The problem is, Rashmi has shown you the mirror tonight. And we all have. But you don't want to look into the reality. I want Rashmi to come in.
We are responsible to promote peace and harmony in our nation.
The worst part, that this hijab issue,
we are responsible to promote peace and harmony
for
in this
Hindus
nation.
in Bangladesh.
We are not here to.
The reverberations are so loud that Hindus are being threatened in Bangladesh because of your lies. And if you think you have logic to any of your arguments, quote me one logic. All you're saying is constitution, peace, we condemn killing. Will your condemnation bring back Harsha?
Yes,
Will it bring back Harsha? Can you tell me, will it bring back Harsha to life?
Definitely.
Oh, you
not.
just
That
said
is why
yes.
we have
It's not going to bring him back to life.
It is the
It's
government
not
which has
going
to
to
be
bring him
questioned,
back
my
to
dear
life.
sister.
He's
My
dead.
dear sister,
And so
that is why the
are
government has
other
to be
people.
questioned.
So
It is the duty of the government
so
to
are
bring
other
law and
people. So
order.
is Lavanya.
It is the duty of the government to protect the citizens. It is the duty of the government to protect the citizens.
It was the duty of the government.
It is not for the
It is the duty of the government to protect its citizens. But it's also the duty of the opposition to not needle, and to not promote extremism within society. All your leaders have been doing is give false statements.
And
You know
viewers,
what D.K. Shivkumar said? He accused 13, 14-year-old boys of removing the tricolor and hoisting a saffron flag.
And viewers, I think the point is to stop needling and stop provoking. And I think we've had enough on this hijab row. The matter is being dealt with in courts. Enough provocation and no more violence. Let the cauldron of communalism not be allowed to simmer. On the other side, despite calls almost on a daily basis, why has the Popular Front of India not been banned? What's holding the Modi government back? In a few minutes, we'll debate that in detail. See you.